Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today a special reveal of a watch I have owned since 2019, but I've not revealed it yet for some reason. I wanted to do it today because I recently, a few days ago, have finally gotten 1000 subscribers, and it made me again or motivated me again to make a video about a special story. As anybody who's seen my channel or my videos, I have more than 50 videos already actually, that I really like to tell stories about watches, how I got the watch, and how I like the watch and so on. And this in fact is my very first Rolex that I ever bought at an AD. And I have it till this day. I love it. It's one of my favorite watches still, and I wanted to share the story today. I also have a new, once again, new lighting setup. Hope this is good. Do give me feedback. I am curious to find out which setup is the best, as this is just a hobby. I'm not a professional or anything, but I just really enjoy talking about watches. And yeah, here is, as you've seen already by the title, my Rolex Batgirl. Why do I call it the Batgirl? I know it has the oyster bracelet, but I got it on the Jubilee. You can see here, just a minute, I will show it. But I put on the oyster, which I have from my Rolex Pepsi. And so this is, but why I still call it the Batgirl or Batman, it doesn't really matter, does it? And this is, just for reference, the 126710 BLNR. Yeah, I got it, as I said, on the Jubilee. Back then, when I ordered this in early 2019, this was not available on the Oyster. So anybody who remembers, it was released with the Jubilee, and they stopped back then. So first, I think 2018 came the Pepsi on the Jubilee, then came the Batman on the Jubilee, and they discontinued the old Batman with this bracelet, with the oyster. And I was a little bit disappointed, but I always want watches from the AD, as I like to have this experience. I like to have this relationship. So I said, okay, it doesn't matter. And that's why I got it on the Jubilee. And I did wear it for a few years on the Jubilee until I got in I think it was 2022 or 2021 where I got my Pepsi. I'll have to double check. But anyways, today we're talking about the Batman or Batgirl and how I got this. Yeah, just for reference, I always try to show the watch. This is really so nice with the black and the blue. I just love it. Here you see it's already quite scratched, of course, but I'll put it quickly on the wrist. I have today bracelet on. And here you see on my wrist is 18.5 centimeters, and it's a watch that fits perfect. Yeah, the lugs don't go over, and it really is a nice watch, I think. So it's not an unboxing today because I have this for several years. I just like to kind of present the watch in the box that I got it. I won't show you everything that comes with the box, just some things. Really, I want to talk about the watch and how I got it, as I think this is why people are tuning in. At least that's what interested me always. Here you can see I still have one link of the Jubilee bracelet. I only took out one, and back then I still got this. So since then, no AD has given me, or my AD has not given me this protector, which comes here on the bezel. But back then I was allowed to take it. Have this, yeah, tang. And back when I bought it, it was 8,800 in my region in Europe, euros. Now I think it's 11,150, I think. Let me quickly check so I don't show my number. So yeah, here it is, the 126710BLNR. So yeah, how did I get it? And how did I get it as my very first Rolex at this AD, and at any AD actually? It was my very first purchase. With this specific AD, that's where I get almost all my watches nowadays. So if you like those stories, check out my channel and see the AD stories from buying Panerai, Breitling, IWC, Tudor, and of course also Rolex. So I'm very lucky with this. Let me zoom in a little bit. With this specific AD, here you go. I think it looks good this way. So, how did I get it? I bought my very first watch with this AD in December of 2018. Now, December 2018. Sorry, let me correct myself. I bought my first watch in December 2019 with this AD. So this watch I got 2020. Sorry, yeah, it was September 2020. Sorry, I got it mixed up for a minute. So anyways, the very first watch I bought there was an IWC, a watch I also revealed on my channel a few months ago. It's the IWC Pilot Chronograph. It's a limited edition of the 150 years celebration of IWC. It has this beautiful lacquered white dial. So this was before lacquered white dials were hyped or loved. Now with the Speedmaster and some other watches, white dials are really coming again. Back then that already was the most beautiful white dial in my opinion. And it has a reference, if you are looking for that video, the reference is IW377725. Yeah, so that was the very first watch. I bought that for 5,700 euros back then. That was the normal list price of the IWC. It was very limited, 1,000 pieces, and it was sold out. So I was extremely happy with that watch. I have it until today. Yeah, I have this watch. So the IWC. Then just a few months later, Breitling released one of their watches, the Navitimer reference 806 re-edition of 1959. And again, it was a special watch. It was a limited edition, and I think it was February they released it, and I asked my AD to get it in February 2020. And yes, he delivered. So this was very early stage with this AD, but there was just a good connection, and he got that watch for me. I was very happy with it, really enjoying it. That was where I was really starting collecting watches. It was my, back then I think, fifth or sixth luxury watch. So I was kind of still being careful of what to buy, when to buy, but I always bought new. And then I went to visit him again, and I said, hey, I have a big anniversary coming up, special date. I would really love the Rolex Batman. I know it's new because it came a year earlier, I think in 2019. I know it's new, but I'm really interested in it. It's a present for myself for a special anniversary. Is this possible? And that's pretty much how the conversation went. And he was really kind and said, yes, that should be possible. When is the anniversary? And that was within more or less 7 months of that day I was there, more or less. So it could be 6.5, could be 8. This was more or less 6-7 months. And that was pretty tough because 2020 was not the full hype. It was not COVID yet, but these watches were still difficult to get, and you would be careful how you would ask about it. But I was very blunt and straightforward, and so was the AD, and that's how the relationship really has been since then. It's now 5 years. I've been buying watches at this AD, and it's always a pleasure. So anyways, I went out and I said, okay, so how is this going to work? You know, the anniversary is in a few months. And he said, yeah, don't worry about it. I'll get it done, and we'll be in touch and see you soon. And then we were in touch, and then it was a few weeks before this anniversary. No, I think 2 months before. So this was about 5-6 months after I asked for this watch. He called me and said, when are you around again? Because I'd like to make your trip worthwhile. He's not in my city, and I already knew what was going on. So, and I said, oh my God, you know, is it the Batman? And he said, yes, it's here for you, ready to pick up. Just a few months before the anniversary, so that I wouldn't be nervous. So that's when I got it in September 2021. That's again proof that these watches can be had, especially nowadays, again 2025. If you have a relationship, you don't need to be a massive buyer anymore. I think just you have to be a serious person wanting this watch, being clear what you want. I think that's one of the main things I think that has helped me. I always had a very specific target about a watch and communicated this in a most possible nice way. And that's how it worked with the Batman. And back then I thought, you know, when I have the Batman, that's it. I don't need any other watches. But as you can see from my channel, this was only the beginning. That lit my fire for collecting, for starting this journey into collecting watches, enjoying watches, and having a story with watches. So that's really the story behind this one. And now, just to finish up, why I put this on the Oyster bracelet. So I think a couple of years after I got this watch in 2022, I'm not 100% sure right now, but I'm sure some of the viewers know. So do comment when Rolex came out again with the Oyster bracelet for the GMT models. So I think it was in 2022, I'm pretty sure. And I think it was with the Pepsi that they said the Pepsi is now available also on the Oyster. And then came also the Batman. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, I really want the Oyster bracelet on a Batman. I just think this watch looks more masculine on the Oyster bracelet than on the Jubilee, but it's also really beautiful on the Jubilee. So when I change it back to the Jubilee, I'm happy to put it on the camera again and talk about it. If you're interested, so do let me know. Could also maybe compare the Pepsi on the Jubilee with this on the Oyster and vice versa. So do let me know if you're interested. So when I saw that, I was like, oh no, what do I do? I think I asked to get the bracelet, but it was not possible back then because Rolex waits a few years to sell bracelets. When they release new bracelets on watches, they first want to sell the watches. So what I did then is, that's where the other story comes in, which I will post at some point in the near future, is when I got from this AD, I asked for the Pepsi on the Oyster, so that with the goal of changing the Oyster to the Batman and putting the Jubilee on the Pepsi. That was my goal, and I'll go into that story in another video. But anyways, when I got the Pepsi, I loved it so much on the Oyster bracelet that I actually left the Batman for a long time on the Jubilee. But recently I changed it a few months ago, and I haven't put it back on the Jubilee. So yeah, it's a beautiful watch, no matter on which bracelet. I think it's just about personal taste and what people like. I like both. And nowadays, I think you can order the bracelet. So if you have it either on a Jubilee or on the Oyster, go to your AD and ask them to buy the other bracelet, because the watch really changes with the bracelet. Yeah, it's really different on your wrist. It's really different looking. And I'm not sure how expensive these are nowadays, but I think they are in my region in Europe about 1,600, 1,700 euros. It's really expensive, but it's really worth it, I think, because it gives you a whole different watch. And yeah, so that's the story. I'll put it on again on the wrist just to finish up. Beautiful watch. I really enjoy this. Anybody who's interested, I'm filming this just on an iPhone 15, or it's actually a 14 Pro. So nothing professional, and I think it still looks amazing. No filters or anything on my channel, as I try to really make the watches look like they really do in real life. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I will try to get the Pepsi and the Batman on the camera together. I don't have it with me as I change up which watch I'm wearing. But yeah, I look forward to your feedback, to your comments, to questions, and let me know what you want to see next. Many more videos to come, and also stories to share, and hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.